Alrighty, folks, we improved to 9-2 with a push of my last dozen chairman membership plays on my premium page on Monday. We had the Mets money line yesterday, and they took care of the Diamondbacks by the final of 5-4. And the good news is I've got another chairman membership play going off here for Tuesday. That play is already posted and ready for access on my premium page. And if you sign up for that membership, you're going to get access to that chairman membership every single day for the next 30 days. And as an added bonus, you're also going to get access to all of my cheaper memberships during that time frame, absolutely free. Going to be included with your membership. Of course, if you want to access all of my premium selections, you may want to think about signing up for my full access, all-inclusive Gold Club membership. Gold Club members get access to every single premium selection of mine, every single package, every single day for the next 30 days. And before we go ahead and move on, just want to take a quick time out and welcome you to my free pick video here today for Tuesday, May 6th, 2025. Happy Tuesday to you. Hopefully you had a great start to the new week. And if you're joining me for the first time here today, my name is Brock Page. I've been dishing out free sports picks on YouTube since 2016. Of course, if you don't need access to all of my premium selections, but maybe you could use like one a day, my daily best play is going to run you just 6 cents a day for 30 days worth of access. I also have plenty of free content on my premium page as well. I currently have over 2,385 members who are signed up and active on my premium page as of right now. And with that, let's go ahead and dive into some free content. I'm going to start off in the NBA. Pacers, Cavaliers, 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off. Cleveland's minus 9.5, totals 229 and a hook. And I'll tell you what, the Cavs have certainly had their hands full with Indy in recent gatherings. Cleveland actually lost their last 3 straight to the Pacers, just 3-6 straight up in their last 9 head-to-head meetings. When it comes to defensive play, the Cavs are currently in the bottom 5 in blocks per game on defense. They're facing an Indy squad on the other side who definitely shoots it well from 3 land, top 3 in field goal percentage. Pascal Siakam, he's currently making 52% of his field goals in the postseason, 43% from downtown. And Andrew Nembhard's knocking down 57% of his playoff three-pointers this year himself. I like the Pacers plus 9.5. Next game, Warriors, Timberwolves, 9:30 p.m. East. Minnesota's minus 7.5, totals 210. The T-Wolves did lose their last 3 straight against Golden State, averaged just 108 points a game in those losses. And they're facing a Golden State squad here who's 8th in points allowed, 5th in defensive turnovers. Of course, on the offensive end, Steph Curry's averaging 24 points a game in the postseason. Buddy Hield's 42% from beyond the arc in the playoffs as well. I like the Warriors plus 7.5. Major League Baseball, Guardians-Nationals Game 1. They got a doubleheader. Game 1 not listed on the big screen, but that's going to be a 3:35 Eastern first pitch. Cleveland's minus $1.20 in Game 1, totals 9. Luis Ortiz for the Guardians, Jake Irvin for Washington. Irvin's 2-1 with a 1.13 whip. The Nats also have a winning record at home, and they've hit the ball well in their own ballpark. They're averaging nearly double-digit hits a game at home this year, top 10 in runs per contest on their own diamond. James Wood with 9 homers, 21 RBI. Nathaniel Lowe with 27 ribbies himself. And they're going to face a 2-3 Luis Ortiz, who has an ERA close to 5. And these Cleveland pitchers have definitely struggled a bit on the road. They're allowing nearly double-digit hits a game in their travels. Bottom 5 in runs allowed away from home. I like the Nationals plus $1 in Game 1. Next matchup, Dodgers-Marlins, 6:40 p.m. East. The Dodgers are minus 270, totals 9.5. Tony Gonsolin for Los Angeles, Cal Quantrill for Miami. Quantrill's just 2-3 with an ERA in the 8s. Now, the Marlins have also dropped 8 out of their last 9 as a team, and they do have a losing record at home. Their pitching staff allows more runs a game than any other team. They walk a handful of batters per contest. And they're facing a top 3 run-producing lineup in the Dodgers. Shohei Ohtani with 9 homers, OPS of 983. Teoscar Hernandez has an OPS of 933 himself, club leader in RBI. I like the Dodgers minus 1.5. Next contest, Rangers, Red Sox, 645 East. Texas is minus $1.20, totals 8.5. Nathan Eovaldi for Texas, Lucas Giolito for Boston. Now, Giolito struck out 7 in just 6 innings of work, whip of 1.17. When the Bo Sox are at home, they tend to put up some runs. They're a top 3 run-producing team in their own stadium. Alex Bregman leads the clubhouse in home runs and RBI, OPS of 979. And Wilyer Abreu, he's got 22 ribbies on the season, OPS of 916. And even though the Rangers and Nathan Eovaldi's look good in his first handful of starts, the Rangers have given their pitching staff little run support. The Rangers are currently dead last in runs per game. I like the Bo Sox plus $1. Next game, Guardians Nationals game 2, 7:05, 6:45 or 7:05. I got it listed as 7:05 Eastern first pitch. I think they moved it back a little bit because of the doubleheader. 7:05 Eastern first pitch. Cleveland's minus $1.20 in game 2, totals 8.5. Ben Lively for the Guardians, Brad Lord for Washington. Now, Lord's just 1-3 with an ERA of 4.43. He's also had some control issues this year. Currently has a 1.66 whip. And he's going against Ben Lively, who's got an ERA in the 3s, whip of 1.27. Of course, at the plate, Stephen Kwan's hitting 333 for the Guardians. Kyle Manzardo with the most home runs and RBI on the roster. I like Cleveland minus $1.20 in game 2. Next matchup, Phillies-Rays, 7:05 East. Philadelphia's minus $1.25, totals 8. Zach Wheeler for the Phillies, Drew Rasmussen for Tampa Bay. And Rasmussen's looking for his second win of the season, despite some real good stuff. He's just 1-2 on the year thus far, and the Rays have struggled at the plate. Tampa Bay is a bottom 10 run-scoring team. And they got to face Zach Wheeler, who's got 57 strikeouts and a 1.00 whip. Of course, as a staff, these Philadelphia pitchers currently lead the league in strikeouts per 9 on the mound. Give me the Phillies minus $1.25. Next game, Padres-Yankees, 7:05 East. Both clubs are minus $1.10, pretty much a coin flip, totals 8. Clark Schmidt for New York, Michael King for San Diego. King's 4-1 with an ERA of 2.09. He's also punched out 46 batters and has a 1.01 whip. This Padres pitching staff allows fewer runs a game than any other team. They're facing a Yankee lineup who does strike out a lot. The Bombers are in the bottom 3 in strikeouts per 9 at the plate. Of course, on the hill, Clark Schmidt's yet to record a W on the season, ERA of 5.52. I like the Padres minus $1.10. Next game, Reds-Braves, 7:15 East. Atlanta's 225, totals 8. Chris Sale for Atlanta, Andrew Abbott for Cincinnati. Abbott's 2-0 with an ERA of 2.84. And these Reds pitchers are currently in the top 3 in fewest hits allowed per contest. Of course, at the plate, since he's got a top 3 run-producing lineup on the road, Gavin Lux with an on-base percentage in the high 300s. Ellie De La Cruz leads the roster in RBI and stolen bases. They're going to face a 1-3 Chris Sale, who has an ERA very close to 5. And out of Atlanta's last 10 meetings with the Reds, they've allowed nearly double-digit hits a game during that span. So if you're into historical trends, certainly want to think about that one there. I like the Reds plus 1.5. All right, next contest, Orioles-Twins, 7:40 Eastern first pitch. Minnesota's $1.55, totals 8.5. Pablo Lopez for Minnesota, Cade Povich for Baltimore. Povich is 1-2 with an ERA in the 5s. And as a staff, the O's allow more hits a game than any other team besides one. They're going to face a Minnesota lineup who's definitely hit the ball well at home. They're in the top 10 in hits per game on their own field. Byron Buxton leads the club in homers. Ryan Jeffers with an on-base percentage in the mid-300s. But even if the bats go cold here for the Twins, they've got a good one in Pablo Lopez on the hill. ERA of 2.25, whip of 1 flat. I like the Twins minus 155. Next matchup, White Sox, Royals, 7:40 p.m. East. KC's minus 230, totals 8.5. Seth Lugo for Kansas City, Sean Burke for Chicago. Burke's got a couple of wins on the season, and to be honest, these Chicago pitchers haven't been all that bad on the road. Matter of fact, the Sox are in the top 10 in fewest hits allowed per game when they travel. They're facing a Kansas City lineup who's struggled a bit at the plate, especially at Kauffman Stadium. They're in the bottom 3 in runs per game on their own diamond. I like the White Sox plus 1.5. Next matchup, Astros Brewers, 7:40 p.m. East. Milwaukee's minus $1.15, totals 8. Chad Patrick for the Brewers, Hayden Wisniewski for Houston. Now Hayden's got an ERA in the 3s, whip of 1 even. And as a staff, these Houston pitchers are in the top 5 in fewest runs allowed per game. They're facing a Milwaukee lineup who's certainly had their issues at home. They're in the bottom 10 in runs per game in front of their own crowd. I like the Astros minus 105. Next matchup, Giants-Cubs, 7:40 Eastern first pitch. Chicago's $1.40, totals 8. Colin Ray for Chicago. Justin Verlander for San Francisco. And even though Verlander's still in search of his first win, he has punched out 32 batters thus far in the year. Of course, at the dish, the Giants have done a nice job in their travels. They are a top 10 run-producing team on the road. Mike Yastrzemski with an on-base percentage in the high 300s. Young-Hoo Lee's batting .303. Despite some real good stuff out of Colin Ray, the Cubs really haven't pitched well in the friendly confines. They're in the bottom 10 in runs allowed at home. I like the Giants plus $1.20. Next game, Pirates-Cardinals, 7:45 East. Pittsburgh's $1.35, total 7. Paul Skeens for the Pirates, Matt Liberator for St. Louis. Libby's got an ERA in the 3s, a .97 whip. And this St. Louis pitching staff walks just a couple of batters a game at Busch Stadium. Fewest walks per 9 at home than any other team. They're facing a Pittsburgh lineup who's in the bottom 5 in runs per game, definitely struggling at the dish. The Bucs also have double-digit losses already in their travels. I like the Cardinals plus $1.15. Tigers, Rockies, 8:40 East. Detroit's $1.65, totals 9.5. Jackson Jobe for Detroit. Chase Dollander for Colorado. Dollander's got an ERA of 6.48, whip of 1.52. No real surprise, this Colorado pitching staff allows more hits per game than any other team. They're facing a Detroit lineup who's had little problems getting on the base paths. They're in the top 10 in hits per game, top 10 in runs per contest. Spencer Torkelson's got double-digit homers, club leader in RBI. And Kerry Carpenter slammed 8 homers himself, on-base percentage of .316. But even if the Tigers do struggle at the plate, starter Jackson Jobe's 2-0 with an ERA in the 3s. I like the Tigers minus $1.65. Next matchup, Blue Jays, Angels, 9:38 East. Both clubs are minus $1.10, pretty much a coin flip, totals 9. Tyler Anderson for Los Angeles, Eric Lauer for Toronto. Lauer's got a .450 ERA through a handful of innings, backed by a lackluster lineup of hitters. The Blue Jays are in the bottom 3 in runs per game in their travels. And they're going to meet a 2-0 Tyler Anderson, ERA in the 2s, 1.04 whip. Of course, at the plate, Logan O'Hoppy's got 9 homers for the Angels, on-base percentage of .317. Mike Trout also hit 9 home runs himself, club leader in RBI. I like the Angels minus $1.10. Next game, Mets Diamondbacks, 9:40 p.m. East. Arizona's $1.15, totals 9. Zach Gallen for Arizona, David Peterson for New York. Peterson's got 30 strikeouts on the year with an ERA of 3.06. These New York pitchers are also in the top 3 in strikeouts per 9, allowing fewer runs per contest than any other staff besides one. But it's not just all pitching for the Mets. You know, this is a top 5 run-producing team on the road. Pete Alonso's got over 30 RBI on the season, OPS in the thousands. And Francisco Lindor's got an on-base percentage in the mid-300s as well. They're facing a 2-4 Zach Gallen, who's got an ERA dangerously close to 5. And as a staff, these Arizona pitchers are currently in the bottom 10 in runs allowed per game. Give me the Mets, minus 105. Next matchup, Mariners Athletics, 10:05 East. The A's are minus $1.20, totals 9.5. Jeffrey Springs for the A's, Emerson Hancock for Seattle. Emerson's backed by a top 3 run-producing lineup on the road. No real shock here. The Mariners are averaging nearly 11 hits a game in their travels. That's currently a league best. Cal Raleigh leads the roster in homers. Jorge Polanco with an OPS in the thousands. They're going to face Jeffrey Springs, who has an ERA just about in the 5s, whip of 1.43. And these A's pitchers have definitely struggled on their own diamond. They're allowing double-digit hits a game at home, bottom 3 in runs allowed on their own diamond. I like the Mariners plus $1.10. All right, NHL, Hurricanes, Capitals, 7 o'clock Eastern puck drop. Carolina's minus $1.25, totals 5.5. Frederick Anderson for Carolina, Logan Thompson for Washington. Thompson's 4-1 in this postseason this year, save percentage of .923. Caps also tend to lock it down late in games. Washington's in the top 5 and fewest third-period goals allowed at home. Of course, on the offensive end, the Caps average more goals a game than any other franchise besides one. Alex Ovechkin leads the team in postseason goals. Dylan Strome with the most points in the playoffs himself. They're facing a Carolina team who's struggled a bit defensively on the road this year. Of course, on the offensive end, the Canes do tend to start off slow on the road. Carolina's in the bottom 5 in first period scoring away from home. I like the Capitals plus 105. Next game, Oilers, Golden Knights, 9:30 p.m. East. Vegas is $1.35, total 6. Aiden Hill for the Knights, Calvin Pickard for Edmonton. Now, defensively, the Oilers do tend to put themselves behind the 8 ball early. They're in the bottom 5 in first period goals allowed. They're facing a Vegas team who gets nearly 31 pucks on net a game, scores a bunch of goals late. As a matter of fact, the Knights are averaging more third-period goals at home than any other organization. Pavel Dorofeyev, he leads the club in goals in the regular season. Jack Eichel with the most regular season points. I like the Golden Knights minus 135. NBA totals, Pacers, Cavaliers, 7 o'clock East. Cleveland, minus 9.5, totals 229 and a hook. 5 out of the Cavs' last 6 games did get over the total. They are the highest point-producing team in the NBA. Donovan Mitchell averages over 25.5 points per contest in the playoffs. Ty Jerome shooting 45% from beyond the arc in the postseason as well. They're facing a Pacer team who saw overs in 6 out of their last 8 themselves. Top 3 in shooting from the field as well. I like the over, 229.5. Next total, Warriors, T-Wolves, 9:30 p.m. East. Minnesota, 7.5, totals 210. Now, the T-Wolves saw unders in 7 out of their last 10 ball games. They're 6th in the league in fewest points allowed. They're also limiting opposing shooters to just a dozen 3 balls per game. They're facing a Golden State squad who saw unders in 4 out of their last 7 themselves. Top 5 in defensive turnovers. And out of these teams' last 10 head-to-head gatherings, the under cashed in 60% of those games. I like the under 210. MLB totals, Guardians, Nationals game 1, 3:35 Eastern first pitch. Cleveland's minus a $1.20, totals 9. Ortiz for the Guardians, Irvin for Washington. Nats games have gone 9-7 to the over in the nation's capital. They're a top 10 hit-producing team on their own field. Meanwhile, Cleveland saw overs in 6 out of their last 10 themselves. 67% to the over in all of their road trips. I like the over 9 in game 1. Dodgers, Marlins, 640 East. Dodgers are 270, totals 9.5. Gonsolin for LA, Quantrill for Miami. Once again, Quantrill with an ERA in the 8s. The Marlins pitching staff allows more runs a game than any other team. Walks a handful of batters per contest. Meanwhile, the Dodgers, top 3 in run production. Shohei Ohtani, OPS of 983. Hernandez, OPS in the 900s. Club leader in ribbies. Both teams saw overs in 8 out of their last 10 respectively. I like the over 9.5. Rangers, Red Sox, 645 East. Texas, minus 120, total 8.5. Eovaldi for the Rangers. Giolito for Boston. 6 out of the Bo Sox last 10 outings did get over the total. They have a top 3 run-producing lineup. Meanwhile, these Texas pitchers have struggled on the road. Bottom 10 in runs allowed while traveling. I like the over 8.5. Guardians, Nationals, game 2, 7:05 East. Cleveland, $1.20, total 8.5. Lively for the Guardians. Lord for Washington. And even though we took the over in game 1, we are looking at a Washington lineup who's in the bottom 10 in walks per game, and they're facing a Cleveland squad who's in the bottom 10 in hits per contest. I like the under 8.5 in game 2. Phillies, Rays, 7:05 East. Philadelphia, $1.25, total 8. Wheeler for the Titans. Rasmussen for Tampa Bay. Rasmussen just 1-2 on the year thus far. Even though he has real good stuff. He's actually thrown quite well. The reason for the 1-2 record, it's been run production. Tampa Bay is a bottom 10 run scoring team. They got to face Zach Wheeler, 57 strikeouts, 1.00 whip. Philly currently leads the league in strikeouts per 9 on the bump. Philly with unders in 3 out of their last 4 on the road, 60% to the under in their last 10 at any location. Rays games went 7-3 to the under in their last 10 themselves. I like the under 8. Padres, Yankees, 7:05 East. Both clubs are $1.10, totals 8. Schmidt for New York, King for San Diego. Kings 4-1, ERA of 2.09, 46 strikeouts, 1.01 whip. These Padres pitchers allow fewer runs a game than any other squad. And, of course, the Yankees on the other side, a lot of strikeouts per game, bottom 3 in strikeouts per 9 at the plate. The Bombers saw unders in 5 out of their last 7 at Yankee Stadium. Padres are 8-2 to the under in their last 10 at any location. I like the under 8 runs. Reds, Braves, 7:15 East. Atlanta, 225, total 8. Sale for Atlanta. Abbott for Cincinnati. The Reds have a top 3 run-producing lineup on the road. Overs in 6 out of their last 10 gatherings with the Braves. So if you're into historical trends, plenty of overs to go around. Of course, the Braves have a top 5 hit-producing lineup on their own field. They've hit very well in front of their home crowd. I like the over 8 runs. Orioles, Twins, 7:40 East. Minnesota's $1.55, total 8.5. Lopez for the Twins. Povich for Baltimore. The O's saw unders in their last 4 straight on the road. 8-2 to the under in their last 10 at any location. 7 out of the Twins' last 10 outings stayed under the total themselves. Averaging double-digit strikeouts a game on the mound at home. I like the under 8.5. White Sox, Royals, 7:40 p.m. East. KC's 230, total 8.5. Lugo for the Royals. Burke for Chicago. Burke with a couple of wins on this season. Chicago, they've thrown pretty well on the road. Top 10 in fewest hits allowed per contest in their travels. KC on the other side struggled at the plate, especially at Kauffman Stadium. Bottom 3 in runs per game at home. Kansas City with unders in 4 out of their last 5 at Kauffman Stadium. 8-2 to the under in their last 10 at any location. And out of their last 10 meetings with the White Sox, the under did cash in 80% of those games. I like the under 8.5. Astros Brewers, 7:40 Eastern first pitch. Milwaukee's $1.15, totals 8. Patrick for the Brewers, Wisniewski for Houston. Hayden's got an ERA in the 3s, whip of 1 flat. These Houston pitchers, top 5 in fewest runs allowed per game. Milwaukee issues at the plate at home. Bottom 10 in runs per game in front of their own crowd. Milwaukee with unders in 63% of their home games. Astros 9-7 to the under in their travels. Give me the under 8. Giants Cubs 7:40 Eastern start. Chicago $1.40, total 8. Ray for Chicago. Verlander for the Giants. Now, San Francisco's done a nice job in their travels. Top 10 run producing team on the road. Yastrzemski hitting well. Young-Hoo Lee batting .303. And the Cubs, well, they have not pitched well at Wrigley. Bottom 10 in runs allowed at home. Cubbies games went 12-5 to the over at Wrigley Field. Giants games are 15-4 to the over in their travels. Give me the over 8 runs. Pirates Cardinals 7:45 East. Pittsburgh's $1.35, total 7. Skeens for the Pirates. Liberator for the Cards. Libby with an ERA in the 3s, .97 whip. Of course, St. Louis walks only a couple of batters a game, fewest walks per 9 at home than any other team. Pittsburgh on the other side of the plate, bottom 5 in runs per game. Pittsburgh games went 12-5 to the under on the road, 60% to the under in their last 10 meetings with St. Louis. I like the under 7. Tigers Rockies 8:40 Eastern start. Detroit's $1.65, totals 9.5. Joby for Detroit. Dollander for Colorado. Dollander ERA in the 6s, whip of 1.52. Colorado's allowing more hits per game than any other team. Of course, Detroit on the other side, top 10 in hits per game. Torkelson, double-digit homers, club leader in ribbies. Carpenter, 8 homers himself, on-base percentage of .316. 6 out of the Tigers' last 7 road games did get over the total. 63% to the over in all of their away games this year. I like the over 9.5. Blue Jays Angels 9:38 East. Both are $1.10, totals 9. Anderson for the Angels, Lauer for Toronto. Both squads with their fair share of struggles at the dish. The Blue Jays are a bottom 3 run-scoring team on the road. Angels are in the bottom 3 in hits per game. Angel contest went 7-6 to the under at home. Toronto with unders in 12 of 15 on the road. I like the under 9. Mets Diamondbacks 9:40 Eastern start. Arizona's $1.15, totals 9. Zach Gallen for the D-backs. David Peterson for New York. New York, top 5 run-producing team on the road. Alonso over 30 RBI on the year. OPS in the thousands. Lindor with an on-base percentage in the mid-300s as well. Zach Gallen on the other side, 2-4 record. ERA dangerously close to 5. Of course, as a staff, these Arizona pitchers are in the bottom 10 in runs allowed per game. I like the over 9. Mariners Athletics 10:05 East. The A's are $1.20, totals 9.5. Springs for the A's, Hancock for Seattle. Seattle, top 3 run producing lineup on the road, averaging nearly 11 hits a game in their travels. Currently a league best. Cal Raleigh, most homers on the team. Polanco, OPS in the thousands. Jeffrey Springs on the other side, ERA just about in the 5s, whip of 1.43. Of course, these A's pitchers allow double-digit hits a game at home. Bottom 3 in runs allowed on their own diamond. I like the over 9.5. NHL totals. Canes Capitals 7 o'clock East. Carolina's $1.25, total 5.5. Anderson for Carolina, Thompson for Washington. Once again, Thompson 4-1 in the postseason, save percentage of .923. Caps top 5 and fewest third period goals allowed at home. Canes on the other side, slow starters on offense, bottom 5 in first period scoring away from home. Carolina saw nearly 60% of their road games this season stay under the total. Washington with unders in 4 out of their last 5 at home. I like the under 5.5. Oilers Golden Knights, 9:30 p.m. East. Vegas $1.35, total 6. Hill for the Knights, Pickard for Edmonton. The Oilers allow just 26 pucks on net on the road. Top 5 and fewest goals allowed away from home. The Golden Knights on the other side allow just 26 shots a game themselves on defense. Top 5 and fewest goals allowed per game. The Golden Knights saw unders in 5 out of their last 9 meetings with the Oilers. Edmonton with unders in 3 out of their last 5 on the road. I like the under 6. With that, folks, now it's time for our quick pick recap. Pacers plus 9.5, Warriors plus 7.5. Baseball Nationals plus $1 in Game 1. Dodgers minus 1.5. Red Sox plus $1. Cleveland minus $1.20 in Game 2. Phillies minus $1.25. Padres minus $1.10. Reds plus 1.5, getting the job done against the run line. Twins minus 155. White Sox plus 1.5. Astros minus 105. Giants plus $1.20. Cardinals plus $1.15. Tigers minus 165. Angels minus $1.10. Mets minus 105. Mariners plus $1. NHL Capitals plus 105. Golden Knights minus $1.35. NBA totals over 229.5. Pacers Cavaliers under 210. Warriors T-Wolves. Baseball totals over 9. Cleveland Washington Game 1. Over 9.5. Dodgers Marlins. Over 8.5. Rangers Red Sox. Under 8.5. Guardians Nationals Game 2. Under 8. Phillies Tampa Bay. Under 8. Padres Yankees. Over 8. Reds Braves. Under 8.5, O's Twins. Under 8.5, White Sox Royals. Under 8, Astros Brewers. Over 8, Giants Cubs. Under 7, Pirates Cardinals. Over 9.5, Tigers Rockies. Under 9, Blue Jays Angels. Over 9, Mets D-backs. Over 9.5, Mariners A's. Hockey totals under 5.5, Carolina Washington. Under 6, Oilers Golden Knights. And with that, folks, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on my premium page. And if you do end up getting a membership here today on my premium site, just a friendly reminder, you're going to get access to that membership every single day for the next 30 days. And as an added bonus, you're also going to get access to all of my cheaper memberships during that time frame, absolutely free. It's going to be included with your membership. That's why I always tell folks, that Gold Club membership, it's a full access, all-inclusive package. Gives you access to every single premium selection of mine, every single membership, every single day for the next 30 days. But most importantly, folks, got to thank you for joining me right here on the free video. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. With that said, folks, happy Tuesday to you. Best of luck to you. I look forward to seeing you later on today on my premium page.